There was to be no happy ending for Big Ron. His last management challenge before retirement ending in defeat, as Forest's relegation, inevitable for months, was finally confirmed. They'd gone to Villa Park needing a win to stand any chance of putting the drop off for another week. And even though Dion Dublin's handball was deemed accidental, they should still have scored even without the penalty. Andy Johnson's miss coming on another one of those days, but then it's been one of those seasons. Villa's win was almost as guaranteed as Forest's fate. How would Steve Stone have celebrated if he'd been the man to send his old boys down? That honour fell to Hjelde, funnily enough, taking the last touch on Alan Wright's free kick as he challenged Dion Dublin. Hjelde did his best to score Villa's second and his second own goal as well. But it was claimed by a young man who can say he's the best thing to come out of Villa's up season. Gareth Barry, the first of his career. Forest fought gamely as they have all season, but their best just wasn't good enough. Marlon Harewood coming the closest to a consolation as Forest equalled another record, only the second side to be relegated from the Premiership 3 times. Will they be good enough to come back up and try and avoid a 4th? The full-time whistle brought the usual smiles and decorum from Big Ron, but inwardly he'll be very disappointed that he's bowing out, like Brian Clough, with Forest bowing out of the top flight. Aston Villa 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Actually, I've got a feel for them because I feel part of it as well because I was with them for most of the season. It hasn't been a happy season because of the way the results have gone and the way things have gone. You know, we lost Dave Bassett halfway through the season, which wasn't nice either, because he was doing a good job. That's the way things go in football.
Say hello and wave goodbye. It was short and sweet in the Premier League for Nottingham Forest, and Big Ron Atkinson says his goodbyes as well. Their up-and-down pattern of the last few years continues. Bad news for Big Ron. Now let's get you caught up on the rest of Saturday's EPL action.
Coventry knocked Leicester out of the FA Cup by winning at Filbert Street earlier this year, so Leicester were out for revenge against their near neighbours. Tony Cottee has always done well against Coventry, whatever club he's played for, but on this occasion he couldn't find the net. However, Cottee did end up on the winning side, as Leicester dominated. Emil Heskey in the England squad for this week's trip to Hungary set up a good chance for Ian Marshall, Leicester's hero at Liverpool in midweek. Marshall scored the only goal of this match in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Sadly for him and all Leicester fans hoping to relive the magic moment, it wasn't recorded for posterity. Coventry conceded a corner. The match coverage switched to a slow-motion replay of how it was conceded. Meanwhile, Marshall headed in. Honestly, he did. Trust me. In the second half, Coventry manager Gordon Strachan sent on substitutes Stefano Giacchini and Tron Saltvedt, and both had chances. But Coventry slumped to their 3rd successive defeat, and they remain deep in trouble. But for Leicester, it's been a good week, with 7 points out of 9. Leicester 1, Coventry 0.
After their humbling at the hands of Arsenal, Wimbledon needed to restore a great deal of pride. Marcus Gale almost did exactly that in a game that was as exciting as you'd expect an end-of-season mid-table battle to be. I don't know if it's his idea of sexy football, but Ruud Gullit got his way with the socks. And as Newcastle sported the white stockings that he demanded the club should adopt, they too forced chanted. Dietmar Hamann testing Neil Sullivan, and then starting the move and providing the cross for Alan Shearer to nod in his 5th goal in 4 games. A welcome return to form for the often criticised England marksman. Some say he's had a bad season, but 20 goals in 37 games in a mid-table side's far from awful. 6 minutes later, another harshly criticised striker found the net. John Hartson's first since his move from West Ham, and his 11th game for the Doms. Newcastle's pre-Wembley preparations were almost enhanced by Hamann, but in the end, a tame draw. Wimbledon 1, Newcastle 1.
Well, John, great for you, isn't it, to finally get on the score sheet?
Yeah, it is. It's nice to have got a goal, really. Not so much for me, but for the fans, and they've all been great. You know, they've all been getting behind me, and for the coaches here and the players, really. you know, as I said, they paid a lot of money for me, and it's nice to have got a goal, and not so much for myself, it's for the club really in general. I'm just pleased to have got off the mark really.
West Ham would dearly love to join Tottenham in Europe next season. So for the Hammers, there was more than local pride involved in this match. And they made a terrific start. Ian Wright chipping in from distance after 4 minutes. Wright's 9th goal of the season and his 2nd since returning from injury. But West Ham then failed to capitalise on their dominant play, coming closest to scoring again when Mark Keller struck the post early in the second half. However, Keller did get his name on the score sheet 20 minutes into the second period. Ayle Berkovic, inspirational throughout, provided the pass for Keller to increase West Ham's advantage. Keller's goal, though, was the cue for Tottenham to stage a revival. They'd been lacklustre before it, but now Spurs stepped up a gear, and David Ginola pulled a goal back with a wonderful shot from distance. Ginola just doesn't seem to score ordinary goals. The match ended in ugly scenes after John Moncur's crude tackle on Jose Dominguez. The former Spurs man sent off by referee Uriah Rennie, but he had the last laugh with his side's victory. Tottenham 1, West Ham 2.
How demoralising is it sometimes for the players to think that West Ham could finish as high as 5th and not get into Europe?
Yeah, well, because there's people who in a position where they just sit around and make decisions that don't really know the heartbeat of what's going on. You know, we're here slogging ourselves out for a whole season trying to get in a position that we thought at the start of the season would have been good enough for us to be in Europe. And then they move the goalposts, you know, because they feel like it. You know, it's like me having a bunch of sweets and, or in fact having a football and taking it on because it's mine, because I can do that. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And it's always like that when people are sitting down in suits making decisions for people who are out there slugging and sweating blood and things like that. They've got no right. They're out of order.
Some powerful words from Ian Wright there. Coventry City loses its 3rd in a row. Gordon Strachan's Sky Blues are still not safe. They need to win at least one of their 3 games to ensure another season in the top flight as we go down to the end of the season. And now, a big Sunday match. Manchester United traveled to Leeds in an unfamiliar place. 2nd place. As we showed you, Arsenal's win on Saturday had sent the Gunners to the top of the table. Man U was back in 2nd, trying to get back to the top. Against Leeds at Ellen Road, Leeds in an all-white kit, Man U wearing the quite rare black shorts. Minute number 32, Roy Keane passes to Nicky Butt, who tries to go back to Keane. Keane wasn't even looking for it. Harry Kewell stole it, played it to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Oh, yeah. That website just took a hit. Hasselbank, his 16th league goal, the Dutch treat. Peter Schmeichel came out to meet him, but couldn't stop it, and it was 1-0. Alex Ferguson looking with some distress. Minute number 55. Don't worry, Alex. Here comes the equalizer. Nicky Butt, his header saved by Nigel Martin, but Andy Cole there to clean up the mess and get it in the goal. Goal number 16 for Cole. The great finisher's instinct, right place, right time. And this one ended in a 1-1 draw. That, of course, it's March 30th, 1994. This match happening just down the road from Leeds, Hillsborough, Sheffield, to be exact. Chelsea will open up with the corner kick in the first half. Dennis Wise takes it. It's headed back out to him, and he's looking for Marcel Desailly. He crosses it, and check out the effort by Desailly. Beautiful back kick, but no, didn't go in. That's not in the coaching manual, but nice just the same. For the second half now, Chelsea attacking again. Wise finds Gianfranco Zola. Zola gets it to Gianluca Vialli. Vialli's playing himself, the player-manager. He goes postal. Vialli shot just off the outside of the post, and no good. Now to the second half again, Chelsea attacking. Celestine Babayaro passes to Dennis Wise out wide. Now Wise will cross it in. Some confusion there in the middle. The referee rules the push on Gianluca Vialli. So, we have a draw, 0-0. 3rd draw in a row for Chelsea. That is